Thank you, President. Honourable members, I would like to thank you for having placed this particular point regarding the Article 7 procedures against Poland and Hungary on the agenda again for this plenary. As you know, the Commission considers that it is important to maintain the Article 7 procedures on the Council's agenda, and the Commission is obviously at the disposal of the Council in order to support the Council when it comes to hearings or taking stock of how far we have got. And it's in this spirit that we do very much appreciate that we can hold this debate together with you in plenary today. If we could turn to Poland, as you know, there has been a fifth hearing under the Article 7 procedure. It took place on the 22nd of February last before the General Affairs Council. The Commissioner informed Council of developments that have taken place over the past few months, in particular a certain number of rulings from the Polish Constitutional Tribunal which question the foundations of the Union's legal order. And this has led us to introduce an infringement procedure before the Court of Justice, not only regarding the question of the primacy of European Union law, but also when it comes to the non-independence of the Constitutional Tribunal. And the Commission has also informed the Council of a number of recent rulings from the European Court of Justice and the European Court of Human Rights, which have confirmed the concerns that the Commission has really regarding the rule of law in Poland, and in particular when it comes to the independence of the judiciary, in particular of the Constitutional Court, the Tribunal. The Commission can only conclude that the situation in Poland continues to give rise to very serious concerns. And over the past few weeks, we've seen a number of legislative developments concerning amendments to Polish law aiming to modify the disciplinary regime for judges in Poland, in English.
Towards reforming the disciplinary regime for judges in Poland is a positive step. Yet what will eventually matter is the extent to which the legislation, as finally adopted by the Polish Parliament, if it's possible to go to the final adoption, will address the requirements set out by the Court of Justice in its ruling of 14 and 15 July last year. I also note that last week the Polish government put forward two draft laws that seek to fundamentally change the structure of the ordinary judiciary, including by changing the structure of courts and by transferring judges. We understand that these draft laws are now subject to public consultations. Let me underline, in that respect, that any new legislation concerning the judiciary must comply with the requirements of EU law on judicial independence, taking into account European standards and the case law of the European Court of Justice in this regard. The Commission will continue to follow closely the legislative development in that respect, and you know that it's in line with some decisions of the Court of Justice, including decisions about interim measures and including decisions about a fine of €1 million per day if there is no fulfilment of the requirements of such a decision on interim measures, and we are now with a total amount of more than €160 million with such a fine, till a possible positive evolution in Poland. As regards the situation in Hungary, the Commission has had the opportunity to explain on different occasions that it shares an important number of concerns expressed by the European Parliament in its reasoned opinion and proposal triggering the Article 7 procedure. The Commission has also made very clear that whatever position the Council will be taking on the Article 7 procedure, it must ensure a fair handling of the reasoned proposal tabled by Parliament. The Commission stressed this again in the General Affairs Council of 14 December last year during a state of play point on the situation in Hungary. Hungary's fourth hearing under the Article 7 procedure has been scheduled for the meeting of the General Affairs Council of the 23rd of May. We appreciate that the French presidency has included this hearing in the Council's agenda. In addition to the Article 7 procedures, the Commission, as I said, other instruments at its disposal to protect the rule of law, and we don't hesitate to use them. One of these is the rule of law conditionality regulation, a financial instrument. We have to protect the EU budget and financial interest against breaches to the rule of law, as underlined by the Court of Justice. Last week, the Commission sent a written notification to Hungary under the conditionality regulation. The Commission has identified a number of rule of law issues, including corruption-related, that constitute reasonable grounds for the launch of the procedure under the general regime of conditionality. Indeed, these issues affect or seriously risk affecting the sound financial management of the Union budget or the protection of the financial interest of the Union in a sufficiently direct way. The identified issues, together with the long-standing Commission recommendations and requests to address them, combined with the lack of measures to address the identified issues in a structured manner over time, are indicative of a serious risk for the sound financial management of the Union budget and for the protection of the Union's financial interest. Hungary can now submit observations on the findings in the written notification within 2 months. It may also propose the adoption of remedial measures to address the findings. Such a written notification is the first formal step of the procedure set by the conditionality regulation, which establishes exchanges between the Commission and the Member State concerned with the view to address the findings of the Commission and protect the Union budget. Throughout the procedure, Hungary has the possibility to submit remedial measures. We continue, of course, to monitor the situation in all the other Member States on the basis of the same regulation. La Commission n'hésite pas non plus.
The Commission will not doubt either to initiate infringement proceedings in order to respond to the concerns linked to respect of rule of law. In the case of Hungary, the Commission has already launched several infringement proceedings linked to respect of the Union's values. For example, when it comes to the rights of free organisation of civil society, academic freedom, the rights of migrants and asylum seekers, freedom of the press, and the rights of LGBTIQ people. When it comes to the situation in Poland, I've already said that last December the Commission decided to launch a new infringement procedure against Poland concerning the Polish Constitutional Tribunal and its recent case law, which has expressly questioned the primacy of the European Union law, and we've also added doubts about the independence of this tribunal, which had already been indicated since 2017 in the context of Article 7.
Such as the European semester to promote and uphold the rule of law. In 2019, the Council, following a Commission's proposal, recommended to Hungary to reinforce its anti-corruption framework and to strengthen judicial independence. In 2020, the Council recommended to Poland to enhance the investment climate, in particular by safeguarding judicial independence. When assessing the national recovery and resilience plans, the Commission verifies whether they are expected to contribute to effectively addressing all or in a significant subset of challenges identified in the relevant country-specific recommendations. Moreover, in July, the Commission will publish its 3rd annual rule of law report, and you know that for the first time the report will include recommendations. These recommendations will help Member States to focus their follow-up on the key issues, including on justice, anti-corruption, media freedom, and checks and balances. They should also help and support Member States in their efforts to uphold the rule of law and to prevent problems from emerging or deepening. Et pour conclure,
And to conclude, I do very much regret, honourable members, that I'm not in a position today to be able to report back to you about positive trends when it comes to the rule of law in Poland and Hungary. I can only hope that the ongoing procedures under Article 7 and the other procedures I've referred to will allow the Polish and Hungarian authorities to give some thought to the way in which they're going to respond to the concerns that have been expressed. I once again wish to thank the French presidency for having kept the procedures under Article 7 against Poland and Hungary on the Council's agenda, and obviously we will continue to come before the General Affairs Council to report back, i.e. when the points are on the agenda. And I've already announced the fact that at the end of the month we're going to be addressing Hungary. And obviously this is what we've always done when it comes to procedures that have been triggered, and we'll continue to do so until the legal judicial systems in Poland and Hungary meet the requirements that we expect here in the European Union. Thank you.